Welcome to the Dirt Court Jesters Podcast, your home for dirt track racing across the country and right here in Southwest Ohio. This is Josh in episode 71. Who's better than who? What can USAC do? And the season comes to a close. I hope you guys are ready to get dirty. This week in dirt racing history, we're going back to November 14th of 2020 at Arizona Speedway for the USAC Midgets. Listen to this top 10. Buddy Kofoid gets the win, Tanner Thorson in second, Dason Pursley in third from 16th, Chris Windham in fourth, Spencer Basin in fifth, Justin Grant in sixth, Andrew Laser in seventh, Logan DeCevi in eighth, Chase Johnson in ninth, and Tanner Carrick would round out your top 10.
Let me talk to you.
This week's talking points, not a ton of chatter really going on. I know there's a lot of open seats, and it's going to be interesting to see kind of where the chips fall as far as where certain drivers end up. I got to say, I'm not surprised that David Gravel or Rico Abreu won their respective championships. And it makes you wonder, there's been a lot of conversation lately as to what's tougher to run, the World of Outlaws or High Limit. Now, first of all, let me say this. The Outlaws are the Outlaws are the Outlaws. Until something changes, I don't feel any different. I will say that I do appreciate that when it comes to High Limit, Rico, Sweet, Reitzel, maybe even Courtney could have been champion this year. Now, obviously, Rico won it. Not taking anything away from him. Sweet's team was all over the place, and Reitzel and Courtney obviously both injured. Really kind of shaking things up. Rico had a bad stretch there, and he'll even admit to it. But I think if you have a solid team there for Sweet, he's certainly going to be even more competitive with Rico than he was. And if Reitzel's not injured, that would be interesting. Brett Marks kind of coming on there towards the end. Courtney, I don't know. He had a rough start. But again, he's been injured most of the season. I don't know that any of those guys, Rico included, had a complete season. It'll be interesting to see what their 2026 looks like. For the Outlaws, Buddy Kofoid was good. Really good. But nobody was as good as David Gravel. And that includes any of the other guys that I listed. David Gravel in a league of his own, the best driver in the country, in my opinion. But I don't think Rico or Buddy are that far off. And going into 2026, I expect them to close that gap. I was kind of curious, and thankfully, SprintCarRatings.com is a great website that allows you to search things and allows you to compare drivers. So, I wanted to see, comparing Rico Abreu to Buddy Kofoid. When they raced in the same race, Rico's average finish, 9.8. Kofoid's, 7.3. Both had 4 wins. Rico had 11 better finishes to Buddy's 9. Rico had 12 top 5s to Buddy's 11, and Rico had 15 top 10s compared to Buddy's 13 top 10s. So I thought that was kind of surprising. Gravel, when you compare him to Rico, average finish in the races where they raced against each other, obviously that didn't happen a ton, but when it happened, David Gravel's average finish, 9.4. Rico's, 9.2. Wins for Gravel, 2. Rico had 4 better finishes. Gravel with 10. Rico with 11. Top 5s, 13 for Gravel, 12 for Rico. And top 10s, 16 for Gravel, 17 for Rico. Interesting there. So next up on the list, third place, Carson Macedo. Rico and Carson When you compare the two of them, average finish for Carson, 9.5, Rico 9.3. 2 wins for Carson, 4 wins for Rico. Better finish, 6 for Carson, 16 for Rico. Top 5s, 9 for Carson, 13 for Rico. And top 10s, 14 for Carson and 17 for Rico. Now switching things around. David Gravel and comparing him to Brent Marks. We've already got Gravel and Rico compared. So we went with second place, high limit points finisher Brent Marks. Average finish, Gravel 9.0, Brent Marks 14.3. Wins, Gravel 2, Marks 0. Better finish, 11 for Gravel, 3 for Marks. 9 top 5s for Gravel, 2 for Marks. 11 top 10s for Gravel, and 5 for Marks. And last but not least, David Gravel compared to Justin Peck. Obviously, I didn't put Brad Sweet in this because I'm almost 100% sure Sweet didn't race anything out of high limit, so it would make that impossible. Gravel and Peck, though, compared average finishes, 8.6 for Gravel, 17.4 for Peck. 3 wins for Gravel, none for Peck. 17 better finishes for David Gravel, 3 for Peck. 13 top 5s for Gravel, 1 for Peck. And 16 top 10s for Gravel and just 5 for Justin Peck. So, again, I think High Limit is competitive. I like the fact that you can watch it, and really there's quite a few guys that could win a race. It's not a top-heavy series. Is that a bad thing? I don't know. Again, I know David Gravel's the best sprint car driver in the country right now, and that Buddy Kofoid is pretty damn good himself. And it just shows, though, although there is a lot of opportunity with High Limit, there's a big drop-off there. I mean, if you look at the statistics when they're racing against one another, we showed Brent Marks, we showed David Gravel, we showed Peck, and we showed Gravel. And we also compared Rico to Macedo and Kofoid, and the difference is certainly there. So, I don't know. Do I think one series is better than the other? I think they both have their goods and bads. Again, the Outlaws are the Outlaws are the Outlaws. I'm not saying anything bad about the Outlaws. I'm not taking anything away from the Outlaws. The World of Outlaws are still a standard. High Limit's doing their thing. They're trying to be different, and I think they're going to continue to be successful moving into 2026. Devin Moran misses all 3 nights at Charlotte for the World Finals. Ouch. That's a tough pill to swallow. Moran got on his social media and he talked about it and owned up to it. Man, that's got to be a rough way to wrap up 2025. After strong runs all season long, Ayrton Geniton's your 2025 Power Eye Honest Abe Roofing 410 Outlaw Sprint Car Champion. Dave Gravel's your 2025 World of Outlaws Sprint Car Champion, back-to-back for Gravel. Bobby Pierce is your 2025 World of Outlaw Late Model Champion. That's Pierce's second World of Outlaw Late Model Championship in the last 3 years. And Matt Williamson grabs his third Super Dirt Car Series Big Block Modified Championship. Also grabbed his second Dirt Car 358 Modified Championship. By winning both of those, Williamson becomes the second driver in history to win the Super Dirt Car Series title and the Dirt Car 358 Modified title in the same year. The first to do that was Danny Johnson in 1999. That's a big deal there for money, and he is showing why that's his nickname. Recently had a conversation about USAC and how can they capitalize the same way winged sprint car racing has, and had a thought. What if USAC brought back Border Wars and or worked with other local series while they were in certain areas, or even tried to have an indoor race in the winter? I don't know if any of this stuff is possible. Just think about over the years here, especially recently, with the inability to increase the purses for USAC a lot of the talent is moving to the winged sprint car scene, and it's some really good talent. I mean, they're going over the wing, and they're showing they can run that bad boy as well. So I'll be curious to see if anything changes for USAC going into 2026, or if they will continue the status quo. Let's talk about some seats. We know about these. We're going to go over them again, even though you've probably heard them already. Spencer Baston to Stenhouse Marshall with the Outlaws. Jason Pursley to Casey Kane in the number 9 with High Limit. Rico Abreu's going to join up with TSR and continue to run his 24 with High Limit. Justin Peck's going to stay with Rudine in the 26 with High Limit. Brandon Crouch to stay with CJB in the number 5 with High Limit. Tanner Holmes to the Book Motorsports number 13, and they're going to run with High Limit. And not too long ago, Ashton Torgerson to stay with the Shark Racing 1A and run with the Outlaws. Finally, wrapping up this week's talking points. You know we're going to do the schedule thing again probably in January with Bunner and Charlie dirt tracks and rib racks, but thought we'd touch on a couple things before we wrap up our 2025 season here on the podcast. The Valvoline American Late Model Ironman Series put their 2026 schedule out. A lot of cool races here. They're jumping in on some races. They're going to be there at West Virginia Motor Speedway multiple times. $10,000 to win, $12,000 to win, $30,000 to win. A lot of money going to be there at West Virginia Motor Speedway. I don't know how they're going to pay all that out with that big-ass screen they put up, but hey, if you got it, spend it. Looking at the Valvoline American Late Model Ironman Series schedule, they're at Eldora, they're at Atomic, they're at Millstream a few times, Butler, I-96, Mudlick Valley, Hidden Hollow, Skyline. I like Limeland there, June 26th for $5,000 to win. Oakshade, Mansfield, Eldora, Montpelier a few times, Ponderosa. Very cool schedule again there for the Valvoline American Late Model Ironman Series. I'm sure they'll be pumped to get their season underway April 11th at Atomic in 2026. Checking out the 2026 High Limit schedule, kind of doing some of the same stuff as far as at the beginning and the end, which, you know, you get into that and that's not going to be a shock. They're going to start the season once again in Las Vegas, and they're going to wrap it up once again in Texas. They're opening up March 12th through the 14th, and they're wrapping it up October 16th through the 17th. NASCAR weekend's also going to be involved with those weekends. A lot of trips to Port Royal again for High Limit this season. A big week here in Ohio for Kings Royal. Monday, it's going to start at Fremont. Tuesday, the Doty at Attica. Then you go to Eldora for 4 straight days. You're going to have the Joker's Jackpot in there, but we are all really there for Saturday's World of Outlaw Kings Royal. Another awesome week of sprint car racing. You guys know I can't wait. Favorite week of the year. Looking forward to that. And they're going to continue there. We go from the West Coast to the East Coast in record time. I don't get it. I know I'm not the only one that doesn't understand it. But this is 3 years in a row now. And they still got guys following. So, I don't know. Maybe we're making it a bigger deal than it is. There's also 4 TBA dates on the schedule and 12 tracks that are going to have High Limit for their series debut. That includes Vado, Route 66, Dodge City, 81, Arrowhead, Davenport, I-94, Dakota, Shelby County, Big Sky, State Line, and Santa Maria. I know some of these, I believe, were on the schedule last year, but weather wouldn't allow it to happen. I don't know if we've heard everything about the schedule. I know they got 4 TBAs, but I've also heard there's a big race setting out there that hasn't been announced yet. See if it's true or not. Last and not least on talking points, finally got my media credentials for the PRI show in Indianapolis. Was glad to see that come in the mail. Didn't know if it'd go through or not, but I guess they checked the YouTube out. Felt I had content at least halfway decent enough. They'd grant me access. So December 11th through the 13th of 2025 in Indianapolis. There between Lucas Oil and the Convention Center. I cannot make it for most of it, but my plan is to be there December 12th, Friday, December 12th for the entire day. I can't wait to see all the stuff they've got in there and hope to get a chance to run you guys see me there at the PRI show. I'll have some stickers with me. Say hi, and I'll hook you up. As always, want to give a shout out to a Victory Fuel. From Purple Potion to Throttle Punch to Lucky Lemon, fueled by electrolytes, charged with vitamins, and kid-friendly. Fuel your victory at drinkvictory.com and use the code GESTURES10 at checkout to save. Drinkvictory.com and use the code GESTURES10 at checkout to save.
I drank a beer. I drank another beer. 3 beers. 4 beers. Oh no.
This week's race recap, we're going to start with Sunday, November 2nd, Big B Speedway and the Jackie Bieber Fall Classic. 95 carts on hand, ripping the lip during qualification. In the end, Zeth Sabo is your 2025 Jackie Bieber Fall Classic champion. Congratulations to him. Moving to the dirt track at Charlotte and the World Short Track Championship. 10 divisions here. We're going to start with the modifieds. Ray Cable gets the victory. Tyler Spalding in second. And Ryan Ayers in third. Moving to the Thunder Bombers. Donnie Atkins with the win. Bryson Juice in second. And Luke Dodgett in third. Mid-East Street Stocks. Jake Jackson with the win. Jeff Parsons in second. And Ronnie Mosley in third. In the Hornets, Colby Lambert gets the win. Willie Fowler in second. And Casey Toll in third. Moving to the CRUSA Pro 604 late models. Michael Leach with the win. Matt Henderson in second. And John Ruggiero Jr. in third. In the crate modifieds, Garrett Gilman gets the win. Tyler Love in second. And Jeff Parsons in third. In the Northeast Sportsman modifieds, Jessica Power with the win. Kevin Ridley in second. And Alex Bell in third. In the Northeast Pro Stocks, Chris Stalker with the win, Jonathan Levesque in second, and Jocelyn Waugh in third. Mini Stocks, Matt Gilbert with the win, Kevin Cooper in second, and Enzo Dillon in third. In the 602 Crate Late Models, John Ruggiero Jr. with the win, Luke Cooper in second, and Stephen Tompkins in third. Moving to Tuesday, November 4th at Millbridge with the Extreme Midgets. Jacob Denny with the win. Carter Sarf in second and Cameron Key in third. Thursday, November 6th, dirt track at Charlotte in the World Finals with the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars. Rico Abreu gets the victory. David Gravel in second and Corey Day in third. In the World of Outlaw late models, Hudson O'Neal from the bottom out of nowhere, coming out of 4. He beats Brandon Shepard to the line. Hudson O'Neal with the win. Brandon Shepard in second and Drake Troutman in third. In the Super Dirt Car Big Block Modifieds, Matt Shepard with the win, Alex Payne in second, and Matt Williamson in third. Friday, November 7th, dirt track at Charlotte for the World Finals with the World of Outlaw late models. Jonathan Davenport would grab the victory, Drake Troutman in second, and Brandon Shepard in third. In the Super Dirt Car Big Block Modifieds, Tyler Seary involved in a nasty wreck to start the feature. The Big Block Modifieds have had some bad ones in 2025. Luckily, he was alert and communicating, but man, it was a bad one. Guys that got out of the car, it stopped the race for quite a while. In the end, Alex Payne would get the victory, Matt Williamson in second, and Tim Fuller in third. With the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars, David Gravel will grab the victory, Rico Abreu in second, and Donnie Schatz in third. Texas Motor Speedway with Power Eye Sprint Cars, Aaron Reitzel with the win, Austin McCarl in second, and Arrington Jennington in third. Saturday, November 8th, the Bull Ring at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It's not dirt, but it's sprint cars. And Cody Swanson does it again. Back-to-back $50,000 victories at the Open Wheel Showdown. Mike Margarito in second and Bobby Santos in third. Clarksville, 13 divisions. Shoo. Southern Thunder Super Dirt Series. Late models on hand. Sam Seawright gets the win. Josh Putnam in second and Corey Hedgecock in third. The dirt track at Charlotte with the World Finals for the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars. Weather played around, but they got it in. Some tore-up machines in this one, including your 2025 World of Outlaw champion, David Gravel, who gets backwards into the wall. In the end, Buddy Kofoid gets the victory. Rico Abreu in second and Brent Marks in third. In the World of Outlaw late models, Jonathan Davenport wins again, his second of the weekend. Superman gets the victory. Hudson O'Neal looked like he might have had a chance to grab his second one, but Davenport was just too much. Jonathan Davenport with the win. Hudson O'Neal in second. And Drake Troutman once again there in third in the Super Dirt Car Series Big Block Modifieds. Man, did they have a rough weekend with some rough wrecks, and really one of the stories of their season. Some more wrecks in this one. In the end, Matt Williamson gets the victory. Alex Jankowski in second, and Jack Leonard would round out your podium. Moving to Hendry County for some 360 sprint cars in Florida. Tyler Clem comes away with a victory. Brandon Gruball in second, and Tyler Porter from 13th to 3rd. Paris Auto Speedway and USAC CRA. Mitchell Moles with a win. Ricky Lewis in second. AJ Bender in third. Texas Motor Speedway with Power Eye sprint cars. Pretty solid field of cars here as far as guys that showed up. In the end, Aaron Reitzel gets the victory. Austin McCarl in second, and Burnham Crouch would round out your podium. Heading into our off season, as far as the weekly, for the most part, podcast goes, we're going to be cutting back on that. You won't hear any of these again until the season's getting ready to ramp back up. In the meantime, I hope to be getting some interviews done. I've got 2 or 3 lined up here in the next couple weeks. Hopefully, you can get a couple more to help us get through the winter. I hope to see some of you guys at the Darf Banquet this Saturday if you're in the Dayton, Ohio area. Some racing to help tide you over until we get back to it here in Southwest Ohio. USAC Midgets and the Golden State Invasion. You can catch the USAC Midgets at Placerville Speedway November 14th and 15th. Plaza Park Raceway on November 19th. Thunderbolt Raceway on November 21st. Merced Speedway November 22nd. Bakersfield Speedway Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway on November 25th. And to wrap up the season, Ventura Raceway on November 29th. Should be noted that the November 22nd race at Merced is going to be the Chase Johnson Classic. The USAC Midgets are there, as well as 360 sprints. That should be pretty cool. November 29th, Ventura Raceway is Turkey Night with the USAC Midgets. The Gateway Dirt Nationals, December 4th through the 6th at the Dome in St. Louis. The Rumble in Fort Wayne, December 19th through the 20th at the Allen County War Memorial Coliseum in Fort Wayne, Indiana. The Tulsa Shootout, December 29th through January 3rd. The Wild West Shootout in Arizona, January 10th through the 18th. The Chili Bowls, January 12th through the 17th of 2026. And then we start to get back into it. The Dirt Car Sunshine Nationals, January 21st through the 24th of 2026. Don't be a stranger. Check out all the stuff. Facebook, YouTube, X, Spotify, Dirt Court Jesters. Hope everybody has a safe and happy holidays, and we will see you guys in 2026.
Goodbye. Mwah! And good night, bang.
Thanks as always for listening to the Dirt Court Jesters podcast. Follow us on Spotify, X, Facebook, and YouTube. And we hope to see you guys at the track.